We're looking at the kanji here, which has the base meaning of move or movement. It's pronounced do, and we're going to be using it in the word meaning automobile, jidosha. So it's the do from jidosha. It's made up of two distinct elements. On the left-hand side, we have the element with a meaning of heavy, and on the right-hand side, we have the element which means strength. And before we go on, let's just have a look at the right-hand side element meaning strength, because it's a really interesting picture. Okay, these are the very ancient versions of that right-hand element meaning strength, and they're a pictogram of an arm with big muscles. If you have a look at the older bronze characters, you can see the hand element below, and then that's joined to the arm. And then if you look at the upper versions, you can still recognize there the arm with a hand on the end. So it's muscles or strength. And these days it can be used as a character in its own right, which also has the same meaning of strength. Now, when you add the meaning of strength on the right to heavy on the left, we get the idea of using strength to move a heavy object, and that's where we get the meaning of movement from. Now, if you have a look at the left-hand element, meaning heavy, you can see within it the element meaning wheel or vehicle, and then on either end there's an extra stroke. Now, although originally it didn't mean this, I find it's very helpful to think of the top and bottom strokes as extra weights which have been put on the end of that axle, which is making the cart, the bird's eye view of the cart that we know from that character, making it heavy. Let's have a look at the stroke order. So we start with the heavy weight on top, and that goes from right to left. Then we're going to do the first wheel from our bird's eye view of the cart. Then we go down on the left, across and round without taking our pen off. Fill the middle, close the box, and now, slightly strangely, we're going to do our axle coming straight down there like that. Then we put the second wheel left to right, and finally that last weight on the bottom. And there we get the heavy element, and all we have to do is add the strength on the right-hand side. There's that great big muscly arm, and we have the character do, meaning movement. And we're going to use that kanji to write jidosha, or automobile, beginning with ji on the left. Now, ji, of course, means myself. It starts with that top stroke right to left. That indicates the bit between the eyes, in other words, the nose, in other words, myself. So now we just need to write the I, cross and round without taking our pen off. Fill in the middle, close it off left to right. So that's myself. Then we have do, starting with our heavy weight on top, right to left. Then bird's eye view of the first wheel. Then looking down on the body of the cart like that. Then we pop in the axle, the second wheel and the heavy weight on the bottom. And now we have our muscly arm. And then we have do from jidosha. And all we need to finish it off is the final character, sha, which means wheel or vehicle. Bird's eye view, there's our first wheel. In goes the body of the cart all the way around. Fill in the middle. Second wheel goes there, and then the axle holding it all together. And there we have jidosha, or automobile.